Hi there. In the last video, we implemented this next move method and returned the result based on the user input. So, in the last video, there was one mistake that we are going to discuss in this video. So, the only mistake uh, is that I wrote this seed as 1, which is not correct. This does not show that we are going to have the random numbers between 1 to max. It is a seed used in the random number generators. So please don't write anything unless you know. Uh, it will take the seed by itself if we don't provide it. So just removing it, and this will generate the random numbers between the 0 and 100, which is perfectly fine because we are checking just random numbers from 1 to 100 inclusive. So we don't need to write anything in the seed. The another part we want to discuss is that uh, we want to change the logic of the this if else ledger and make it look well on the screen than this. So all we have done is that we have first compared the guessed number with the user input, then we have checked if it is greater than, and the last case is lower than. So think about the ways to change this logic. We are checking these three different conditions every time uh, and returning the result based on it. So what if instead we take the difference between two numbers? What if we take the difference between guessed number and the user input? If the difference is positive, then it will be higher than the actual number. If the difference is negative, then it will be lower than the actual number, right? So let's implement this new logic. Let's take another variable called difference and keep it as user input minus guessed number. So if for example if user input is 10 and our guessed number, which is our generated number, is 50, then 10 minus 50 is equals to minus 40. So minus 40 is less than 0, right? So the user input is lower than the user input needs to think higher, and it must approach to the guessed number. So we can implement this logic by just taking this difference. So if the both number are same, the difference will be 0. If we assume 40 and the generated number is 40, then we can say that the user input is correct and the difference will be 0, right? So let's take one if condition. If difference is equals to 0, then return result dot correct. And now if the difference is negative, that means that user has for example user has expected the 10 but the generated number is 40, then the user input is lower than the expected. So we'll take the difference, we'll use this ternary expression I'll show you. I will explain you this after some time. So we'll say difference is less than 0, then return result dot lower result dot higher. So this is the ternary expression. You can check the condition in one sentence. So we could write it for this if else logic over here, but here it is very easy. If the difference is less than 0, this is the condition we want to check, and this is the positive input. If the condition is true, then we'll return the lower, and this is the else part, that if the condition is not true, then result will be higher. So this is how we can just eliminate this if else and see if it works, right? So let's try to take an example to understand all the things. For example, our generated number is 50. You can say this cast number, right? So let's use the proper convention. This cast number is 50 and the user enters the 56, let's say 56. Okay, so user input is 56, so this is 56. Now first we'll check the mean and max, and 56 is between the 1 and 100, so it will return it will not return this invalid input and move to next. Then we'll check the moves as usual. Now the difference is 56 minus 50, so is equals to 6. So the difference is 6. The difference is not 0, so this both numbers are not same, so we are not returning the result dot correct, but the result is positive, and so the number which user has entered is higher than the expected, so we'll return the result dot higher, because the difference is not negative but positive, so we'll return the result dot higher. So this is how our core logic will work. In the next video, we'll create the design of our game and provide the input to the user to see how it works. Thanks, goodbye, see you next video.